So, has this ever happened to you? I'm sure it has. You go and check the mail. You see that you're getting the mail you need that's addressed to you, bills, maybe birthday cards, holiday cards, coupons, advertisements, credit card offers, all that. It's addressed to you. It has your name on it. It's addressed to you. And it's got your address. It's all correct. You're getting what you expect sometimes. You're even surprisingly getting information about settlements, between one of your former jobs and now one of the former employees that may give you a little bit of cash in your pocket before you know it. But I'm sure a lot of you have also dealt with this. You're going through your mailbox. You're going through your P.O. box, maybe at the post office, which you would think would know better. Or you're going through one of those mailboxes that's kind of like a P.O. box, but it's like across the street from you or down the block from you, but it also has other little mailboxes connected to it, So basically, you're doing that, you're going there, you're doing all that, taking care of that, seeing, like I said, everything that's addressed to you, as ridiculous as it might be, or as important as it might be. But then you start noticing that your mail's mixed up with somebody else's mail, but that mail that it's mixed up with for somebody else has your address. Now, of course, the first suspicion you would have is that somebody's using your address to get the mail sent to because they have a P.O. box, or, and they don't want to risk anything. Or basically, they have certain mail that they want to have delivered, but they don't want to have it delivered to their address because of, reasons. So you kind of act suspicious at first, right? You kind of act suspicious, like, why is this person's mail coming here? Were they somebody that lived here before us? Or are they somebody that's using our address because they don't want to use, they don't want to use the money to do a PO box, to pay for a PO box, or they, like I said, they might have something they want delivered, but they don't want it delivered to their address because they don't want people asking them questions, and so on. So I'm sure a lot of you have dealt with that. And I do apologize if I'm kind of stuttering on my words a little bit right now. I just woke up a little while ago. I'm drinking some coffee and everything. But I wanted to get this off my chest because this, and you probably read the title down below, this was probably one of the biggest, most craziest situations of mail going to the wrong people at their address that I can think of. Because, I'm not a record holder, or a record historian when it comes to my family. But I can guarantee that every house we have lived in here in California and temporarily for a time in Kansas, as a family, not just individually, but as a family, we have had mail addressed to us. Our address basically, but with somebody else's name on it. We've had it done in Fremont when we've lived on Tamayo Street in Joanna Court. We've had it done when we lived on Haywood at Hardo Road in the apartment complex. We've had it done on Micklin Avenue on the Hayward-San Lorenzo border between San Lorenzo, California and Hayward, California in the duplexes on Micklin Avenue. We've had it done when we first lived in Waterford. Yeah. We had it happen there. I've had it happen to me when I moved out and lived on my own in Lawrence, Kansas. We've had a lot of this happen, many times, and I'm sure you guys have as well. But what's interesting, though, and I go back to the Waterford situation, is just like the house I'm in now, me and my family member are in now. And you know who my family member is. I've mentioned them many times. In fact, I did recently in a vlog that I did yesterday. But anyway, me, just like the Waterford situation, going back to that, like I said, here, where we are right now, me and my family member, we're the first ones to live in this house. Just like me and my family, back in the late 80s, early 90s, were the first people to live in that house in Waterford, California. So you got to ask yourself, well, what does this have to do with what you're talking about? Well, quite simple. You see, yesterday, I went and checked the mail, just like I normally would. Like I said, I went and checked the mail like I normally would, and I saw that the usual was in there. You know, bills addressed to the other member of this household, if you will. You know, bills addressed to them, a settlement letter, you know, from a court, basically stating that my former employee, Walmart, is, you know, settling, you know, against former employees, accusing them of not living up to not living up to the end of the, you know, I guess you can say the employment deal of, hey, we're going to give you sick pay and all that, but they didn't, or something like that. And, I look at that and I'm thinking, okay, fine, this is a normal kind of mail except for the settlement deal, right? But then, and also we get something in there from CBN because my mom's part of CBN, or at least she's a member of CBN. But anyway, along with that, I noticed something else. And when I look at it, I look at it and I'm like, wait a minute, is this a check? And I see it has our address on it. It has our address, but it's not, you know, made out to us. You know, our name's not above the address. You know, my name's not on the address, you know, above the address. My family member, you know, my parental figure that raised me, that I live with, you know, their name wasn't on the address. You know, but the people's names that were on the address, they do have a connection to this house since, well, basically, they help build it. That's right. They're the ones that help build this house. Well, basically, they're the ones that bought the land, put the instructions out, and so on, and, you know, the rest is history. Anyway, get to the point, because like I said, I am still waking up, and I do apologize. To get to the point, you know, I look at it, and I notice that it's slightly opened. And of course, from what I told my family member that I live with, I told them what it was, and they looked up and they found out that, yeah, you could return this if it's opened, if you tape it up and say return to sender and da-da-da. But then you also have all this other convoluted information, you know, kind of, retracting that, saying, no, you can't do this. Oh, yeah, you can, but you got to do it this way. And then just, you Google it, and it's like it tells you one thing, and then it tells you another, and it's very confusing and convoluted. So what we do is we call up a family member, and we call up some friends as well. And they all basically say, destroy it. Destroy this check. And if you're wondering, why would we destroy a check for? Well, here's my thing. When I first saw this, my first impression was, it's got to be one of those kind of checks that looks like a check, and it looks like it could be made out to somebody, but it's actually a check that they want you to sign and send back to them for an offer or whatever. You know, you get the idea. It's one of those, sign this check and da-da-da-da, you know. So that was my first impression. But because it was already open slightly, I was able to see what the amount was, just barely. And from what I could tell, it was around, if you round it out, if you will, it was basically just about $552. And I Googled as well. I Googled the bank name as well to make sure it was legit, and it's legit. It's legit. And don't know why my devices did that. But anyway, one of my, talk to devices. But anyway, like I said, like I was saying, basically, I looked up the bank name and it was legit. It was a legit name, a legit bank. So again, later on, we we talked it over, and we talked to some family members and some friends, and they all, like I said, suggested the same thing: destroy it. And if you're wondering, well, why would you destroy a nearly $552 check when you could just put it into your own account? Here's the thing: I can't do that. Nobody can, unless the bank is cool with it. Unless the bank is cool with it, it's too risky of a situation. So what we did, at the advisement of the friends and the family member, because apparently they've gone through this as well. In fact, one of our family members, or the family member, I should say, that we talked to, said that they once got somebody's driver's license sent to them. Yeah, the people that used to live in the house before them, I guess, still get the mail sent to them, or sent to the address, and one of those was a driver's license. So what did my family member do when they saw it? They destroyed it. They shredded it. Yeah, they used the shredder to basically say, bye-bye driver's license, because it's not their driver's license, nor is that the correct address it's supposed to go to. So they just said, don't worry, and again, everybody told us, just destroy it, because we also found out, because I think they did some research on their end for us, that the bank's just going to, ask about if the people got the check and if it got cashed. And I'm sure what will happen, I was trying to tell I was trying to tell my family member that I live with, and again, you know who that is because I mentioned who they are in the vlog yesterday. I tried telling them that maybe what's going to happen is the bank will contact these people, because they got to have their number on record, their phone numbers or their emails, and ask if they got the check yet. And if they say, no, we didn't, that the bank might correct them. Well, not correct them, but the bank might ask them, well, isn't, such and such your address, which is our address? And they'll be like, no, it isn't. It isn't our address. This is our address. That's the address of one of our rentees, if you will, one of our rentees. So I'm assuming that's what's going to happen. Like, they might mail them back out another check. They might, which would come straight to us for some reason. But I can also assume that the bank will call them up, ask them if they got it, and then maybe they'll just say, no, we haven't. And if they ask them, oh, well, isn't such and such your address? I think that's when the people that were, behind creating this house to rent, to rent out, that is, I've got a feeling that those people will be like, which are basically landladies and landlords, if you will. They'll basically say, no, this is our address. They'll probably give them the right address. So, yeah, I've got a feeling they might get another check sent out to them, but I also think they'll have to, I think what's going to happen is there's going to be communication, and they're going to say, well, it didn't get cashed, did you get it, da-da-da, and basically a correction of address will be made. But, yeah. Anyway, that's what happened yesterday with the mail. And it just shows you that the USPS is 70% to 75% accurate in getting things correct. But they're also 25% to 30% incorrect accuracy in getting stuff wrong. And what the USPS, in my opinion, needs to start doing, and this is the truth, in my opinion, what they need to start doing is basically double checking a lot of the change of address, I guess you could say, information that they get from online, that people put online, as well as what they fill out in person. Get a lot of those change of address forms, from those, and, check all those, I should say, that people do in person at the post office, or they do at home online. They need to check all of them. So that way, if something comes with their name, through the mail system, but it's addressed to another address, that they can correct it and say, nope, that goes over to that address. That's what the USPS has to do. Let's be honest. The United States Postal Service needs to do that, because honestly, be truthfully honest, for some reason at times, they've screwed up a lot over here. They've screwed up a lot here in Newman, not just with us, but with other people. I go to one of the Newman neighborhood watches, Facebook group pages. I go there, and I see basically that a lot of packages via USPS get delivered to wrong addresses, and people have to say, hey, hey, is whoever's package this is, I have it in my possession. If you want it, let me know. So yeah, they need to really work on, the delivery posture and how they correctly deliver things, because look, I get it. The post service probably pays a lot, and that's understandable. Probably pays a good amount of money, don't get me wrong. But honestly, they need to make sure that whatever they're doing, when they send out mail, that they make sure it's correct. And they also have to let the deliverers know, hey, when you're delivering the mail, guess what? Make sure the people that you're delivering to, live there. Like when you're looking at the names, say to yourself, oh, wait a minute. This mail is going to all this mail is going to these people who have this name, but these people's name is different. I should I should keep that and, take it back to the post office and say, hey, I don't think these people live at said address, because all the other mail goes to people that live there, because the name's not the same. They need to start doing that. They need to do it, because if not, it's not going to be a pretty future for them in the next decade or so if they don't, get their act together. But anyway, though, guys, I just wanted to talk about that, bring that up, and even wonder if you guys have dealt with something like that. I mean, again, it's one thing to get, mail from other people's, it's one thing to get, mail addressed to some people, different other people, maybe the people that lived in the house before you, sent to your house. It's one thing. It's one thing, to have that happen. But it's another when you're the first people to live in the house and you get mail sent to you that, yeah, you might get advisement from others saying, hey, just toss it because it's junk mail. It's not really that important. But to get something like that, a near $552 check, it's, that's crazy. That's crazy. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Comment down below. Comment down below, live chat during the premiere, and I will talk to y'all later.